Please leave a message after the.
Do you think it's right for a woman to take the man's last name when they get married?
That's it. short and sweet. Wow.
I don't know what it sounds
You
like.
don't know who that is?
I
Like,
don't know who, no name, it's anonymous. But I
Okay.
love it. This is what I want the show to be. Random, and we can just run with it. So
yeah.
let me play that one more time. Hold on.
Do you think it's right for a woman to take the man's last name when they get married?
Do you think it's right for the woman to use I know it's very traditional for a woman to take a, but do we think it's right? Let me frame this a bit, because I want to frame both ends of let's cover all bases.
Mm-hmm.
So traditionally, in a lot of traditions, Christian tradition, African tradition, Eastern tradition, when you get married, the patriarchy, the man, you take the man's name, the woman takes the man's name, and they start the new branch of the family. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do I think of that, first of all? As a tradition, I thought it's always interesting, because what I've heard, especially in patriarchal, or it depends on the money. If you marry came from a really rich family, it wouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You're not going to become, Britney Spears ain't going to become, Britney James. You're going to become Mr. Spears or something like that. So I think the more controversial take is the modern woman has the choice. Like I've heard the more controversial, the woman decides that she doesn't want to take your name. She wants to keep her name. And I know
double barrel.
But to be honest with you, I've heard women outright say, you know what, let's just keep our very, very. It's kind of like the Superman and Lois Lane thing when they got married. Even in the comics, even in the TV series, they've always kept. She never became Lois Kent. Because I guess that's got to do with names being iconic. But again, names can be iconic. The modern woman has a choice, in my understanding. That's more controversial. Personally, how do I feel about it? If I got married, if I would like her to either, I'm not super attached to her taking my name, but as a raised Christian, I feel that I would like her to take a bit of my name, but I do feel bad for eradicating someone else's name as well, though. So I really don't mind the hyphening, at the end. I always thought that's a great compromise. You know what I mean? Why do you have to destroy your family name and take mine? Just add mine on the end of yours. I think that's a really great decision. But I thought of something a little bit radical. So I'm really taking the question. I always thought, and this is a triple disrespect, very, very unusual. When you get married, you and your partner pick a whole brand new surname.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Very radical. Something I thought about, very radical. You can upset both sides of the spectrum with it. It happens very rarely, but it's something I thought about as well. So I just want you to take the whole thing and run with all your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, just to quickly comment on the last thing you said, it is quite radical. It's an interesting idea, and it would show it's kind of like
an equal.
It's the two partners are kind of making a pact kind of thing. Yeah. Like, we're going to do this.
Yeah,
might cheese off the families in question, but
it usually does. It's very rare, very, very upsetting.
Absolutely. For me, I would say I'm gonna say it. I'm old fashioned. I'm old fashioned when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can see you reaching for that soundboard.
No, because I'm getting ready something. I'm going to make a really funny joke.
That's cool, man. I'm ready for it.
I ain't going to hit on you.
That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, I'm old fashioned, and personally, I would prefer, especially because my surname is it's like 9 letters long. Can be a bit of a tongue twister. I'm not going to go into what it is now. But so if someone wants to double barrel it, it's making it kind of long. And I would love to say that I'm understanding and would accept double barreling or keeping it, but I just couldn't. Like, even if, let's just say, for example, because sometimes when the woman's like a super high flyer, like people like Zoe Saldana, I think I heard Zoe Saldana, her partner or husband took her surname.
Yeah, so you see,
that's something that happens when it's tipped on that scale. Like, I'm the superstar here, that kind of thing.
Oh, you know what? I think I know what that guy might, because I was thinking, I don't understand what you're trying to say, but I think I thought of a perfect for what you mean. So what happens when a woman leaves a relationship and she still keeps a name, like Tina Turner?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
think
that happens
that's
a lot,
right?
yeah.
Now that's something like Tina Turner, for example. Is that right? It's one of those things. When you get married, you're in a contract. I think it's within their right to do whatever they want. If you ask me, do I think that's right? I think they have the right to keep that name.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if they want to, some people keep it as a namesake, keepsake. Some people do it as I can't be bothered. And I think some people like Tina Turner's because they become iconic with that particular name, and it just sounds better than their last name. I don't know.
But I know that some and this has happened in a very like, upper echelon family. I've heard this like in a white, super rich family, there would be someone that's underling, I hate to use the term, someone that was just a nobody, married into the family and kept the name and then divorced. Let's just say some guy, one of these rich kids goes to Las Vegas, meets a stripper, marries her, then she gets the family name and she's just a stripper. And then she's like, oh, we can get divorced, but I'm keeping that name.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to know me as now one of the Hiltons, for example. You know, stripping at the car. And obviously, using that name has given her clout, right? Because she's
absolutely.
a Hilton. So that's power. So there's a... See,
power in the name kind of thing.
See,
yeah.
Guys, this is what I'm talking about with the voicemail podcast. You send us your voicemails and we use them, we squeeze them, we make them interesting. That's what I'm trying to do here. And, you know, I think we tackled that. Did you hit all the points you wanted to hit?
Yeah, basically, that was pretty much it. Just that I personally, just to round up, I see where ladies are coming from, where they, especially in this day and age, where they want to keep their own name or either double barrel. But for me, just from my upbringing, again, someone might say you need to check your upbringing.
Yeah.
But I would feel a certain way if you didn't want it. I'd feel that you're not like going all the way with me and like going on this journey with me, because you're kind of being half-hearted about it. That's how I see it.
Do you know, I got to bring up this racist joke.
Of all the red, okay.
Yeah, no, you understand. So we're in England, right?
Yep.
Again, you made the perfect point. You're African. You've got a surname with 9 letters, right? You meet a nice white girl, Jane Smith. Jane Smith has come from a nice family, and let's just say, and I'm not being racist, I'm using a name, I'm just going to pretend, let's just say you're David Olowelo.
Yeah.
So then you're going to move from your very British name, like Anna White, to now Anna Odunwunuwelo.
Yeah.
You know, and again, you know, from the outset, it just don't sound right. It's a culture clash. You know, this is another thing. People are like, your name is just too, it doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not what I'm used to. And I think that happens a lot in cultures. But again, this comes to you as a man, as a partner. You're like, this is you're both Christian, right? There was a movie that was out last, I think a couple of years called United Kingdom, about a black prince.
The black Zambia or something.
Yeah,
like
who married a white woman and she took the name, and they're both Christian, right? And you understand, even though we're African Christian, white Christian, you both understand the tradition. And she did it. But I know I've heard of a lot of people in black white multicultural relationships that are like, you know what? I would rather, and this is where my radical thing comes in.
Yeah.
Why don't we just pick a new name? Because I don't want to be, you know.
No, but okay, that's interesting, because if the let's say Jane Smith didn't want to become, let's just say Olowale or whatever you were saying there.
Wakadaka Dojo.
Let's say that she was like, let's change it, and then he was like, okay, yeah, we'll change it, but he just wanted to change it to something still African, but like maybe a bit toned down.
Sure.
What do you think?
Like
do you think
Edo,
that would still
like
work? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something simple. I think that's good middle ground. And I think this conversation happens a lot. I really do think it happens, but I do think changing the name completely, my third radical choice, is very rare. But again,
Would you do it?
I think that when it comes to names, it happens a lot. Even as podcasters and marriages, in contracts, as an artist, I think simplicity makes life easier. But I understand there's a lot of people like, that's my name, David Olowelo, the very, very popular African actor. Very, very popular.
Oh yeah.
Olowelo. I think I said it right. But yeah, I think he's
there or thereabouts.
Yeah, and you know, Idris Elba, his name, it's got a simple kind of more African name.
I don't think anyone would be bothered. I don't think anyone will be like that and keep him.
Last point, if you listen to, you know, Kanye West, again, first African name, surname West, but people used to call him Kanye. Even in that song Slow Jam, she's like, okay, Kanye, she can't even get her name right in the song he produced. So why did we get into this name shit? We've been on this for a while.
Well, it's an interesting question. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, voicemail up.
More
Thank you for
questions.
listening.
Yeah.
More questions, because we can have conversations about his questions, and this is what we want.
And if you think that we didn't tackle it right, or anything you want to add, then just voicemail in about that again.
Sure, clarify. I really wanted to. I think we went in every direction with that one. No?
We did, yeah. We opened a lot of boxes.
We really went to. So anyway, you know what? Now,
Please leave another message at voiceofmail.com.